Hi guys, I'm just going to shoot another video and to explain to you one of the I think the most effective sales framework I have ever discovered. I mean, if you watch about this, I'm sure, and you are pretty much in any type of sales job or marketing job. And by the way, most of people, I'm talking to actually will be real estate. So let's say if you are a real estate salesperson, and actually I was a real estate salesperson quite a few years ago as well. And say if you've been in the sales for a while, I mean, you will understand, I think, more about what I'm talking about it and how valuable it will be. So I wanted to share like a quick story about how I discovered this, and so you will understand why this will be important to you. A story start with I guess like most people get into sales, you fall into a couple of category, but one of the category I fall into is for me, pretty much, cannot really, get a professional job in a corporate world. And say, maybe, if you are a salesperson, you may, you may not doing well in the uni. So you just have to, figure out a better way and say, okay, how you can, earn a good living and without going to a corporate job. And so I guess so that's most of people, get started. That's how I get started as well. So during that time, I said, I need to learn the skill. And so the question just got in mind, I said, this is a very important skill. And because my whole pretty much career will be dependent on it. So when I get started, and initially I was trained by some methodology called education-based sales training. Well, that one is actually, I was really lucky enough to have that as my foundation. And well, I really enjoy it, and I found that it would be really, really powerful. I mean, basically, that is set a foundation and help me understand what sales is really about. So after that, I realized, I got need to, learn from other people as well, because there are so many people teaching sales. I thought, I can learn from different, sales tactics or strategy, from different type of trainers. So that people, I already been fortunate enough, spend a lot of time, study and learn from in terms of sales. And I'm sure some people, you heard about it. People like Tom Hopkins, and I think he has passed away, but he's definitely, one of the great sales trainers. And, people like Cardone, and so far, I think he's one of the best in the world. Another guy, I think he's really, really good as well, and Chet Holmes. So, all of the people, I've learned from, but at that time, I had a bit of one of the issue. The issue is, I got all of the tactics and tricks, but I don't have a framework, to put it together. And so especially if I want to do a presentation, and I was looking for like a framework. So that's basically, what I'm looking for. And so during that time, then I discovered a framework, and this framework is so powerful because this framework, I think, combined everything, I have learned, and also it is I think it is the most powerful sales framework I have ever discovered as well. So I wanted to dive back, into the framework to show you how it works and say, what kind of the, how you can use as well. So I'm going to show you my screen, and so you understand what I'm talking about it. Let's get started. So if you can see my screen, and I wanted to show you, how you can create an education-based marketing presentation. Well, that will help you convert your cold leads into qualified prospect or even client. So the story, started actually. I was a digital marketer, who was struggling with creating education-based marketing presentation to convert a prospect into client in my sales meeting a few years ago. So at that time, I was looking for education-based marketing presentation formula that works. And I really wanted to have one proven to work education-based marketing presentation where I can present my offer to my prospect in every sales meeting. And so I wouldn't have to go to a sales meeting without knowing how long I need to take to deliver my presentation. In addition, I didn't want to create a new presentation for every sales meeting I went to because it cost me a lot of time to create a new like a PPT presentation. And I wanted to be able to, have a proven to work education-based marketing presentation for every sales meeting I went to. And I also wanted to get the prospect to become paid client, in just one sales meeting. So an education-based marketing presentation, I think it's kind of like a McDonald's Big Mac recipe. McDonald's has not changed the Big Mac recipe since 1967 because their customers love Big Mac. So it just keeps selling until right now. So actually, I did some research on Wikipedia, and if you just go to the Wikipedia, and then you can just research Big Mac. So Big Mac, was invented back in 1967, and say it is one of the company's pretty much flagship product, and it's a company's, I think, a first product as well. And so, but if you look at the every business, I think, need to have education-based marketing presentation to educate the prospect. The reason why they have the best solution for the prospect's problem. I think your education-based marketing presentation is kind of like a Big Mac recipe. You should have one proven to work education-based marketing presentation and use it to convert your cold leads into qualified prospect until the end of your career. So if you just Google search about a Big Mac recipe, so Big Mac recipe is just really, really simple, and just like half cup of mayonnaise and 2 tablespoons, French dressing, and 4 tablespoons sweet, picnic radish, and 1 tablespoon finally, and minced white onion, and 1 tablespoon white vinegar, and 1 tablespoon sugar, and plus 1/8 of the tablespoon salt. And anyone can make the Big Mac. And so I think the smart move and McDonald's has done is because they know the recipe works. So they just duplicate it, systemize it, and then they just sell the same of their recipe. And basically they just get all of the stuff and cook the same of the burger, find exactly same recipe. That is how McDonald's can scale up into like a billion-dollar company. I mean, because I always have this mindset, like how I can systemize it. So if you don't have the mindset to systemize it, you have to sell everyone in a different way. There's no way you can grow your business quickly enough. And say scale up and systemize is the key. So the thing is, I was finding out what structure I need to have for my education-based marketing presentation. So that means I couldn't have a proven to work education-based marketing presentation for every sales meeting I went to, let alone get the prospect to become the paid client in one sales meeting. And to make things worse, I feel terrible because I work very hard to get the prospect, but I didn't know like how to convert them into paid client. So I feel even worse, about the situation, because I did not have a structure for the education-based marketing presentation. So I end up, wasting a lot of the prospect's time, and they feel so overwhelmed and confused. And when I was presenting to them, so I feel like a failure as a salesperson at time. So the problem was that, I met one of the real estate sales manager and who was going to refer me to many of the agents in the real estate office to manage. And so which means if I did not have a proven to work education-based marketing presentation, then I know all of the qualified prospect he referred to me would be wasted, which means I would destroy the trust I worked very hard to build with him. So I spent a lot of time and effort to build the trust with him. And so he was willing to ask me to deliver an education-based presentation to his agent. Then as if by chance, something amazing happened. So that is when I found out like a presentation formula called a perfect webinar presentation. And it taught me more about how to structure education-based marketing presentation that can be used to convert the qualified leads into paid client. So the structure looks like this. So basically, in the past, I was looking for like kind of structure in my presentation, and I've been looking for every long time. And so I wanted to, I wanted to go in, spend a bit of time, explain to you why the structure works. So first part, you get something called an intro, and the intro, it is basically introduce yourself. Let's say if you are running a webinar, in the first part, you have to introduce yourself, like who you are. So first one is a bold promise, and tell them, about what you're gonna promise. What do they expect to get from your webinar or from your presentation? If you don't give them a promise, what I mean is it's just like you don't set a ruler. They are going to have the unrealistic expectation, or they are going to have a wrong expectation. So what I mean is, end of the webinar, if what you have delivered did not meet the expectation, what is going to happen is end of them they are going to not buy from you. So that's basically first one is the bold promise. Second thing you have to do is called hook to the end. So hook to the end is you must have the like a hook, like a keep hooking them, just like people watch the TV show. And if you've been like been so addicted into any of the TV show, and I remember I was addicted to one of the Arrow. So I just saw they from one episode to another episode every single time. So that is why your presentation must have a different story. Every story and lead to another story. By doing this, and people will stay at the end of your webinar or at the end of your presentation. And the third part, it is something called command attention. Or in these days, if you are running any kind of the webinar, what I can do, it's just so hard to get people's attention. So you must, command attention. You have the authority, ask them to turn off their mobile, or ask them to log out from the social media, or ask them to maybe close the door if they watch the webinar at home. So they are going to have the full attention to the webinar. Fourth part, you have to do something called qualify yourself. So if the prospect they don't know you, and like they haven't heard about you, and you may have to use some of your testimonial or some of the work you have done to actually build the credibility and the trust before even keep going on the webinar. The fifth part is something called future pacing, and this part is really important as well. And why is because if you don't have the future pacing, and what can happen is for sure a lot of your webinar is information. So a lot of people, they are going to use the left brain, try to analyze about information. So future pacing is basically you help them make a link between the information you are sharing to what? To the ultimate benefit or ultimate outcome they want. So by doing this, they can see the tangible benefit of learning the information from your presentation. And by doing that, that will create an emotion. So when they feel emotionally inspired and motivated, then they are going to keep listen to your presentation and keep watching it. And then go through the second part. It is something called content. And well, if you have been doing any kind of presentation, and I found that most people focus on the second part, which is the content, which is just I think I used to make the mistake as well. Just give the people a lot of the content, and give so people feel wow, they learn so much. Actually, I feel pretty smart as well. But unfortunately, and I give too much content, they feel overwhelmed, and now then they are doing nothing. So the goal of the content actually is to have the 3 pieces of content, and the goal of the content is to do one thing. The one thing is to break down the something called a false belief. So you have to structure content in a way, then they are going to break down the false belief. Let's say you have a offer, and let's say if you're a real estate agent, let's say your offer could be your core offer to help the people sell and list the property. So if that is your core offer, and all of the content you can share, it is the goal of your content is to help them people believe you have the best offer to achieve the outcome they are looking for. So that is the content piece. Then let's go to the section 3. That's something called a stack. So stack basically is simple. Let's say if you want to differentiate yourself, like I said, everyone should have a offer. And by the way, I'm going to create a different video for the offer. But basically, I just briefly explain to you what a offer is. So let's say you have your core product or services. So what I mean is that you need to ask yourself, what other a value adding product or services you can add to your core offer. By doing this, you can differentiate yourself from your competitions. Then you use one of the technique called stack. When you stack a different type of product, then the value of your offer is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger. So, and the final part basically just close. So close basically handle any kind of objection they got. So if you follow the structure correctly, what I mean, and I have done it, I mean, guarantee, and you are going to get appointment because I have used this to make sales. And use this to make sales is even harder than use this to make appointment. I'm sure you know as well. So, and after, I got the formula and I used it, it was now crystal clear to me, how to deliver the right content to educate my prospect, the reason why they need to buy from my offer. And before discovering the presentation structure, I was used to deliver too much content to educate my prospect. That makes me feel overwhelmed and confused. I saw and I feel confident that I got a formula to create an education-based marketing presentation that can be used to convert qualified leads into paid clients in my sales meeting. And I also learned that the only goal on my education-based marketing presentation is not to give them the valuable content, but use the right content to make them believe the reason why they need to buy my offer. And you need to do this as well. So as a salesperson, I think you should stop thinking about trying to give your prospect a lot of information and make you feel smart. And you need to give them the right content and make them believe you have the best solution for the problem instead. So as a result, I started using the formula to create my own education-based marketing presentation and then deliver it in my sales meeting. After I did that, I started, close a sale in less than 19 minutes using the prospect I got from the real estate sales manager. So suddenly, I was got 5 clients out of 6 education-based marketing presentation I have done. And at that time, I spent about 2 hours on presenting my offer, to 6 prospects, and 5 of them decide to work with me. So that is when I realized the secret was to model a proven to work education-based marketing presentation structure, because the presentation structure is a key to success. Remember, the presentation structure is a key. It's not about what you shared in a presentation. Actually, it's a presentation structure. So the presentation structure is it is a secret ingredient to make sure your presentation works. And it's not about your information you share. It doesn't matter what you share. And if you find the right structure, and your presentation will work. So my plan actually was to start a delivery education-based marketing presentation using live event, so I can sell one-to-many instead of one-to-one. So, and I'm not sure if you have been to any kind of event. So actually, in the past, I've been to some of the Success Resource event. Success Resource actually is the #1, seminar promote company in the world. They invite some of the world-class speakers. And I remember that, there's one day I went to that event, and actually I really realized how powerful, to have a presentation structure. So I went to the event, I saw, there are some amazing speaker. I thought about, I can learn from, a lot of these guys, because they do have expertise in their, they are in their field. So I went to there, then this is what I saw, and I saw, every single of them are really good salespeople on the stage. They are selling one too many on stage. Like one speaker, just walk on the stage and he deliver a presentation. Then like hundreds of people just stand up and went to the back of the room and pull the credit card and buy the program. So I've been seeing that every single time from different speaker, different one, every single one pretty much doing the same thing. And another time, I was basically just in my head, I was just like a stand up. I was like counting. I was counting. I said, wow, look at him. He just did one presentation. That took about like 1.5 hours, and pretty much he got about like let's say 50 people and signing up his like $3,000, $4,000 program. So if I do the math, 50 people times $3,000, that is 150K. I say that's pretty cool, and that is how, I'm not really passionate about learning how presenting, but I'm really passionate about it, just so, okay, wow. I say that way, I've never done, after I've been to, I think many of the event like that, I saw, to be able to do that is really, really valuable skill. I say, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to master the skill. So I started actually researching the best way to deliver the education based on marketing presentation using live event. But we didn't stop there. We then tried to figure out how I could gather all my prospects together to attend my live event. So after that, we researched the best way to promote the live event, but there was still a problem. As I found out, most of the agents were too busy, to attend a live event. So at the time, cost a lot of money to rent a venue, print a banner for the live event. So I also didn't have any event manager to help me manage the event. And apart from that, the most challenging part is getting enough number of agents to travel to the venue and attend the live event. So we end up, getting so frustrated, and we decided looking for a more effective way to deliver the education based on marketing presentation. And I have to say, I think it's called a live webinar funnel. And so basically, I think this is basically what I have spent a lot of time working on it. And so basically now, once the people understand how it works, this would be, basically took the live, presentation experience and put into webinar, and especially work with real estate agent and help them put into the webinar so they can see, how, this will help them, systemize the lead gen process. I'm just going to play a short, quick video with you. So, and I mean, sure, you already, watch if you spend the time, watch the video, you understand the process. I mean, spend a lot of time, work it out. And we thought, if we create something, that will make it possible to deliver the education, based on marketing presentation to a real estate agent without letting them travel to the venue. We will be happy. So after spending our time, researching the best way to get it done, we created a live webinar funnel. So I can now have I think, automate webinar software to run the just-in-time live webinar suit any agent's schedule. And we then, let other sales agent use a live webinar system. And as a result, we were able to achieve the following and find out a formula to create a proven to work education-based marketing presentation and convert 5 out of 6 code leads into paid client using 1 education-based marketing presentation. And find out the best tool to run the live webinar and where my prospect can watch anytime they want. And after creating this live webinar funnel, I was not only able to have a fully automated marketing system to qualify the leads and prospect for me, I also been stopped traveling and different real estate agency warfare to do one selling meeting. And because we can now have a live webinar lead gen system to deliver the education based on marketing presentation for me. So I'm gonna stop sharing. And so basically, and I know I've been spending a lot of time sharing about this, but I wanted to finish you. So if I have to say, I think the most valuable asset in your business, one of the most valuable assets in your business is truly to have a sales and a marketing system. Because once you have a sales and a marketing system, I just found that you can scale up the business really quickly. But if you don't have a sales and a marketing system, a lot of things you have to do is manual labor. What I mean is that you have to spend a lot of time, let's say, doing a lot of lead gen. It costs a lot of time. And say, so I think the most valuable thing everyone can have got is to have a proven to work sales presentation. So you can deliver the sales presentation and in any sales meeting. By doing that, you can scale up your business pretty quickly. And so if you do have any question about this, then let me know. And otherwise, actually, I do have a an upcoming webinar, and the webinar will show you and the detail about how this works. And so if you're interested about it, you can just sign up to the webinar. And so talk to you next time. Bye.